Okay. Good evening, class. Nature Coding. I'm going to be taking you through today's topic in history, which is the Anglo-Boer Wars in Africa. But first and foremost, I'm going to introduce, I want to know all the names of the students in class. I think you can unmute and tell us your names, please.
The answer.
Anglo-Boer Faust.
Okay, thank you for introducing yourself. And who can remember my name? Who remembers my name as I told you when I was starting the lesson?
You called Madame Paulina Science.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to take you through the topic, and the topic of study today is the Anglo-Boer Wars in South Africa. And looking at this, meaning we are going to tamper with two parts of the people, that those are the British and then the Dutch in South Africa. And under this topic of the Anglo-Boer Wars in South Africa, we have the subtopics, which are, what can you see on the board? Fausta, can you please tell us what you can see?
I am seeing first Anglo-Boer War and second Anglo-Boer War.
Yes, thank you. She's seeing first Anglo-Boer War and second Anglo-Boer War. Yes, they are the subtopics under the major topic, whereby the major topic I said, it is Anglo-Boer Wars in South Africa with its subtopics, first Anglo-Boer War and the second Anglo-Boer War. And remember, these wars were in South Africa. And so I'm going first to show you how South Africa looks like. And you tell me what you see in the diagram I'm going to show you. It's about South Africa. Yes, hope you can see it clearly on the board. And I request Angela to help me read what is in the diagram in case she can see and figure it out.
Yeah, I can see a map of South Africa and some part of South Africa, and that is Pretoria. That's all what I can see.
Fausta, is it the same thing that you're seeing?
Yes, madam.
All right. That is the map of South Africa showing the capital, which is Pretoria. And as we go on, remember today we are talking about the subtopics in Anglo-Boer Wars in South Africa. And that is the first Anglo-Boer War and the second Anglo-Boer War. But specifically today, since our class is that of inclusive, whereby we have the deaf and the hearing students, I'll be using the visuals to show you different parts, and we are not going to cover something big, but something less that can fit our mind and enable us to remember for future use. Yeah. So we are going to look at the Anglo-Boer Wars. And as I told you, there are subtopics, that is first Anglo-Boer War and second Anglo-Boer War. When you look at what is on the board, it is the first Anglo-Boer War and then the second Anglo-Boer War. Who can tell me what she or he is seeing in the first diagram? named the first Anglo-Boer War. What can you see in that diagram?
I am seeing men having the guns and trying to shoot.
Yes, probably you see
I
that.
think it is like they were at the war.
Yes, because when you're having a gun and you're in big numbers, it can't be expected to be something like a thing where there is harmony, but instead there is war. So that is the thing that you can use to explain the first Anglo-Boer War, like in that diagram. And so any other student tell me what he or she is seeing in the second diagram with the word second Anglo-Boer War.
Yeah, I can see it's like soldiers are prepared to go in for a fight.
Okay, thank you, Angela. Yes, she said that she's seeing soldiers arranged in a way that they are preparing to go to war, which is likely to be massive according to the diagram. Because in the diagram, we are seeing there are some mountains, what and so on, meaning that the war is going to be large, and so also the large numbers, it seems that it is going to be a war, not just a fight between two people, but between various people in different categories. That is the British and the Boers. But we are not going to look at all these subtopics. Instead, we are going to look at one subtopic, which is the first Anglo-Boer War. And so we are going to focus our minds and everything to the first Anglo-Boer War. Yeah. And as you can see on the screen, I've gone to the causes of the first Anglo-Boer War in South Africa. First, it is the annexation of Transvaal. And second, the discovery of gold. So on the first point, the annexation of Transvaal, we can see the diagram there. Some Dutch people, and then they are like in between, there is no person, but beside and the other side, there are different people. This side, you're seeing the Africans, and then on the other side, you're seeing the white man. So,
Excuse me, Madam Polly.
what are you saying, if you can explain in the annexation of Transvaal according to the diagram? What do you understand?
Excuse me, Madam.
Yes, please.
Here I'm seated with the Rita, and you know, as Madam Rita is a hard hearing student. She's trying to use sign language, and I'm just interpreting. She's asking that which year did the first Anglo-Boer War happen? Thank you, Madam.
Okay, Nampija Angela, please, can you help Rita to find the answer to that question?
Sorry, madam, I recall.
Then Fausta, can you give us the answer?
I think, Madam, the first Anglo-Boer War happened between 1880 then to 1881.
Yes, the first Anglo-Boer War was from 1880 to 1881. And it was between the Dutch and the British. So that's why here in the diagram where we see the annexation of Transvaal, we see different categories of people. That is the Dutch and then the British, whereby in the middle here, where you see my pointer, there is no person there, meaning that these two, they are at different sides, wanting to fight each other to take upon Transvaal, the control of Transvaal. And the win will be either for the Dutch or the British. So, Angela, can you please help us and explain what you're seeing in the diagram for annexation of Transvaal once again?
Okay, according to what I see, it's like there are two groups of people, and one group is trying to amalgamate a part which does not belong to them. I think, as you told us, the Anglo-Boer, it was between the Dutch and the British. I think on one side, there is the British, and on the other side are the Boers. These British wanted to annex or take away the so-called Transvaal, which belonged to the Dutch, and this provoked the Dutch people, hence resulting into the first Anglo-Boer.
Okay, thank you. They wanted to annex Transvaal due to the fact that they had discovered different treasures in Transvaal, and one of the treasures was gold, which they thought they could earn more of or develop their economic status. So they were fighting against each other so as to take control over the Transvaal region in order to gain economic development from the discovered treasures at that place. So the second point is the discovery of gold. And as you can see in the diagram there, I think Amos can answer this question. Amos, tell us what you can see in the diagram with the title Discovery of Gold. Yes,
Madam,
Amos has said this. Okay, Amos has said that he's seeing the word Transvaal gold fields. Yes, remember at first they wanted to annex Transvaal because of the discovered treasures in that region. And so here in the second diagram, we are seeing the discovery of gold and they are showing Transvaal gold fields, meaning that they used to go to these areas and it is where they gotten the gold from, which boosted their economic work in order to develop. And especially they used to develop their origins, but not South Africa itself. And so in the doing, it was like the British and the Dutch, call them the Boers, were fighting each other so as to gain the common economic goal over the discovery of gold. Yes, any question about first point and second point?
Madam, everything is fine.
Okay, let's continue. The third point, it is the tension between the political leaders. By tension, it's like you're talking about the battles, like Rita and Fausta. Let's say you're like your friends and you're sleeping in the same room, but a certain day come and you don't relate to each other, like every time you're quarreling with each other, that is the tension. So the pressure that is always between you, it is the tension I'm talking about between the political leaders. First, the political leaders, as you can see in the diagram, we have Paul Kruger and then Cecil Rhodes. These two, they were of different like phases. One was from the Boers and then the other one was from the British. And as you see, and let me ask Jonathan to explain us what he is seeing in the diagram showing the face of Cecil Rhodes. Yeah, he's saying that he's seeing Cecil Rhodes as the face of the empire. Meaning that these two, Cecil Rhodes and Paul Kruger, they were at tension due to the fact that they came from different groups, one from the Boers and the other from the British group. So the two were having different political ideologies due to the different origins that were not they were not relating in common, whereby one wanted to develop the Boers and then the other one wanted to develop the British. So the tension between these two made it to the members of the two different groups. That is the two different groups, that is the British and then the Boers, meaning that their leaders also made it to the First Anglo-Boer War, because if there was no tension between the two leaders, like they were not at war themselves, there could be no way when the two different groups come at war. So the tension between the political leaders also enhanced the First Anglo-Boer War in South Africa. And as we continue, there is that point of harming of the Uitlanders in South Africa. And in the diagram, we can see it is Cape Colony, which was a good place for both the British and the Boers to rest and find treasures. So the coming of Uitlanders also showed the British all the tension, increased the tension. Like when the Uitlanders come in, the population increases, and after its increase, there will be unemployment to some British men, and also the same way to the Dutchmen, whereby it will bring about confusion, and so they become to formulate a war. So here I can give you an example, like when in class and boys the other side, then the girls this side, but still in that class the boys are seated in their own column and the girls to their own column, and the places are completed. Then we see newcomers coming into class, and there is a way people will decide, like the girls, either that new person can sit on their side, or the boys to sit on their side. So this will bring about the tension for the pressure of population, that is population expression, and also it will bring about the unemployment because the number of students will have increased in class. Yeah. Then the other point is the superiority of the British. Yes, Fausta And Rita, what can you see in the diagram where there is the superiority of the British?
Rita is signing that she's seeing the British standing even in uniform, and then in showing the Dutch their superiority.
Okay. And you, what are you saying? You yourself, what are you telling about the diagram you're seeing? Thank you, Rita. I'm sorry, my network had jumped. So please, Fausta, can you repeat in case?
I have said that I am also seeing the British trying to show their powers or their superiority over the Dutch.
Yeah, the diagram that is here on with the title Superiority of the British, we can see the British men holding the trumpets, what and so on, meaning that they have won the war. And so with this superiority, we see that it was one of the factors that pushed it to the Anglo-Boer War, the first one, whereby they had to prove their superiority to the Dutch. And thus, they took over everything that belonged to the Dutch. Yes. And then that has been the last point of our presentation. And so I'm going to avail you with the group work. And group A will contain Fausta, Rita, and Jonathan. Then group B, it will be Nampija, Angela, Amos, and Jessica. So group A, your question is, what took place in South Africa? Then group B, okay, I'm going to repeat question for group A. What took place in South Africa? Then group B, what were the causes of the first Anglo-Boer War in South Africa? What were the causes of first Anglo-Boer War in South Africa? Yes, I'm giving you 5 minutes. Then you're going to present. You can combine your groups now and discuss. After the 5 minutes, you're going to present. Faust and Jonathan, get serious. You should be discussing with the friends of the wars that took place in South Africa. And then Angel with the members, you'll be discussing also. All right, the 5 minutes are done, and I think any volunteer from group A can present to us what she or he has got.
This is group A with the members I personally, Fausta, Rita, and Jonathan, and we were given the question that was, what took place in South Africa? As we have had Madam explaining, or as we have learned, we discussed that the wars that took place in South Africa were the first Anglo-Boer War that took place in South Africa in the year of 1880 to 1881. And then another war was called the Second Anglo-Boer War. So that's what we discussed about.
Okay, thank you, Fausta, and the group members. Yes, we've heard clearly that the wars that took place in South Africa was the first Anglo-Boer War and then the second Anglo-Boer War. So, I hope everyone has understood the wars that took place in South Africa. And Jonathan can remind us about the year when the first Anglo-Boer War took place in South Africa. Exactly, it took place in 1880 to 1881. Thank you, Group A. So the platform goes to Group B, and so I call upon the volunteer to come and present for Group B.
Okay, thank you, Madam. On behalf of Group B, as you've given us a question, we state, what were the causes of the first Anglo-Boer War in South Africa? According to what we've discussed, one of the causes of the first Anglo-Boer War was the annexation of Transvaal. So the British wanted to annex the Transvaal due to the fact that they had discovered gold in this place, so they wanted to take it. So this provoked the Dutch people, hence the outbreak of the Anglo-Boer War. The second cause is the discovery of gold in South Africa. As you all know that gold is so expensive and it can attract a lot of people. So when the British discovered there was gold in South Africa, somewhere in Pretoria, so they rushed in to take this place, and this caused the second Anglo-Boer War. The third point, tension between Cecil Rhodes and Paul Kruger.
Yes, enjoy. You can give them in a summary due to the time. We are remaining with a few minutes to the end of this lesson. You can give them in a summary and complete them. It's okay. Go ahead.
Sorry?
You can give us a summary of the points, the causes for the first Anglo-Boer War in South Africa. Due to the time, it's less. You can help us and give them in a summary.
All right. The political tension in South Africa, the annexation of Transvaal, discovery of minerals, and the annexation of Transvaal. Yeah, that's all what I can summarize. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Group B. Next time you'll be the first people to present in the next class, since you've just given us a summary, so that during the review time in tomorrow's lesson, you give us the well explained points for the causes of the first Anglo-Boer War because we could not complete due to the time we have. Yeah, so I'm going to give you this homework. You take it with you at home and you bring it tomorrow. Yes. Give and explain the causes of the first Anglo-Boer War in South Africa. Give and explain the causes of the first Anglo-Boer War in South Africa. Yes, thank you for being good students and serious, also for attending. It has been nice here with you. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you too, madam. Have a nice day too.
You're free to exit.